Good morning. It is finally time to haul some lime. The truck is not in the same spot, obviously you can see. I did haul some lime yesterday, but I was so busy on the phone I really didn't have time to record. So we're just gonna hop straight into it today. I already had the truck running for a little bit, got her warmed up. We are headed to a pit, 40 some mile northeast of here, and we're hauling for our neighbor here. He's got about 800 ton to do. I can typically get about, I don't know, probably 3 to 4 loads a day. Unfortunately, like I said, with that prednisone crap that I'm taking, I have insanely bad insomnia. I'm usually up till about 4 or 5 in the morning, so I'm not getting here until 9-10 o'clock. I can still probably get 3 loads, but until I'm off of this stuff, which I'm just weaning off of it now, thankfully, so maybe it won't be so bad, but I don't know why it just affects me that bad, but it's really the only side effect I've had from medication. I mean, I don't take that much medication anyway, but yeah, totally off topic. So anyway, I should get at least 2 loads today anyway. Now this pit that I'm hauling to, for some reason, they're about the closest lime pit that we have that is actually pretty decent lime, and they're really not that bad to haul out of. They typically run out so fast because it's the closest, and they just don't make any more. And so we typically got to go to Pontiac, which is 65 miles southeast, and it's just the difference of 20-25 miles makes a huge difference. So normally when I pull in here, obviously I have already been here yesterday, so I don't need to get another lightweight, but I am not loaded down currently. I would normally swing around here and get onto the scale and tell them, hey, I need a lightweight. They would record my truck's weight, and then I would pull back around, get over to the lime pile, and that way they know exactly how much to subtract from the total weight that I bring onto the scale. I'll subtract that lightweight that I recorded. And that's how many tons of lime that I got on the truck currently. So that's what we're gonna do. We've already got the lightweight, like I said. We're here at the designated tarping area. Gonna roll over here, get out of the truck quick, untarp the trailer. We are untarped, head on back to the line. They still have a fairly large pile of lime, which is a good thing. Like I said, these guys usually, lost you there. Like I said, these guys usually run out of lime pretty fast because it is like one of the closest pits to us. But looks like they're actually trying to keep the pile pretty big here. There's the pile there, which again, that is minuscule. I mean, tiny compared to like Pontiac. Pontiac's lime pile, you literally are driving basically on top of the lime pile, and you go down, I don't know, 200 feet, 150 feet, you drive down the pile, and then you gotta make a big loop around it, and then they've got a little place where they load you, and I mean, it is just a mountain. I mean, I don't even want to know how many tons of lime they got there, but they couldn't run out if everybody sent their trucks there within a week. That's a clear exaggeration, but I'm going to end up at Pontiac at some point, and I'll show you. The pile is massive. So when I pull up around here like this truck, I'm gonna get on the CB and tell the guy in the loader there that I'm going to want 21.5 ton. And how they do that is, you'll see right here, he picks that up, he'll lift that bucket all the way up, it'll reset his scale, and he can see exactly how many tons he's got on that bucket. He'll dump some off, drop it down, pick it back up, he'll tell him how many tons, dump some off, and so they can get pretty close. They're usually only about maybe a half a ton each way. And usually they're pretty dead on. $21.5 ton on that line, please. They're dumping this on. It gives the truck a pretty good jolt. You got to be careful too when you're hauling this stuff. If it's a little wet, this line is like concrete when it gets wet, and it gets very sticky. Sticks to the back of the trailer, and like I said, you got to be careful sometimes, because if your trailer's wet and the lime's wet, it's real sticky. When you go to lift up this dump trailer, it can get stuck all the way at the top, and if you're on a grade at all, you can tip this trailer over and roll the whole truck. So you gotta be a little careful. Usually, you know, if it's a little sticky, it's not too bad. You just kind of really hammer the PTO and get that thing up as fast as you can so that it throws all the lime back to the back of the trailer. But if you're not careful, it can happen. When I first started hauling lime, I was very conscious about being extremely level and all that stuff, but now that I've been hauling lime for a long time now, I've honestly gotten way too comfortable, and I just back up and dump it, and that's when you flip a trailer. 40-degree pitch, you know, but we'll make her work. And then you just pin it and you flip the truck. So I need to be a little more wary, but I try and find every little thing. I'll use the lime pile to level the truck back out, like the existing lime piles to level the trailer back out and stuff, and I'm getting too comfortable, so. Thank you.
What do you got, bud?
That's basically all there is to it on the gravel pit side. Not too bad. Everybody's pretty friendly here. Usually work with you as far as telling you where to go and what to do if you've never been here before. This pit is usually big on White Rock, and this whole area here used to be, I mean, you couldn't see the scale house. It was piles of rock as high as they could get them, and I don't know why, but it's gone. Now to the scale. They've got a little water pit here. Just roll through it, get the tires wet, keep the dust down. Ag lime for Salisbury Farms on the scale. About 71,000. I'm a little shy, but that's okay. Not a huge deal.
Thank you very much, buddy.
Thank you. If I was hauling from Pontiac, you know, it'd be a different story. I would probably go back and tell them, listen, I need at least a ton, or 3/4 of a ton. But I'm only 40 miles. You know, I'm already hauling an extra ton or an extra load pretty much every field I go to for this client, or for our neighbor. So it's not a huge deal. I know I'm gonna have enough at the end of the 12 loads. I'll write down where it's going to. I'll reset my miles on my trip on the dash so that I know exactly how many loaded miles it is to the farm that I'm going to. And I only need to do that once for every farm, obviously, and I've already done that, so I don't need to do it this time, but it's roughly about 43 miles or 42.3 miles, something like that, to the field. That way I've got my loaded miles. When I have 12 loads there, we'll be able to tell them how many loaded miles total it was, and then we can bill them how many, you know, loaded miles we have, because that's all we charge them for, is just the loaded miles. I've said loaded miles about 17 times now. We'll put a counter up here on the top left. Trailer is tarped. We're off for the races. We have finally made it to our destination here. It's kind of sketchy because I'm between two hills. So nobody can really see that I'm here. And I gotta back into this place and hope that nobody's flying over these hills, which everybody does. They drive about 50, 55, 60 sometimes through here, so. Took her a little short there. Before I get stuck, I'm going to go ahead and pull back out and kind of straighten out again. I don't see anybody coming, so. That ought to do it. Go. Okay. There's really nothing to this process either. I'm just going to drop this handle. Unlock the tailgate. You don't need to be, you know, back when I was doing this before, I was keeping space between the piles. And when you got a lot of loads to come, you know, you really don't have much room. And so I kind of figured out you can literally just pile it all on top of each other. The loader doesn't have to do so much work that way when they come to spread it. But, you know, it's all stuff you gotta experience and figure out on your own. Turn these off. Okay, as for how you lift the trailer, I've already showed you a few times, but go ahead and show you again. Just throw her in drive. Throw the PTO to raise, turn it on. Back to neutral. Got the parking brake set. Then you're just gonna throttle up. Start lifting. Go ahead and take the ear out of the rear end. You can see it's not super level. Got a lot on the right side of the trailer, but she's okay. Now, we're gonna go ahead and put the air back in. Parking brakes off, throw her in drive. And then we're gonna drive forward. And then as soon as I think the tailgate's coming off the pile, I'll hit the brakes and just kind of smack the back end of the truck with the tailgate, get all that crap off the back of the trailer. I didn't get it. It's because I had the axles locked. It was kind of acting weird. Wasn't really driving. Go ahead and lower her back down. Man, that's coming down pretty quick. Check, make sure it's all out of there. There's a little stuck up there, but it's about the size of a couple beach balls, which with lime, that's actually quite a bit of weight. That's like 300 pounds probably, or more. Which you wouldn't think, but the stuff is just so dense. Tailgate lock. And we do it all again. Back to the gravel pit. Dump another load. This is kind of an easy place to dump. It's a nice big area, but there are some areas where guys want you to dump and it's like, really? That's kind of sketchy. Or really? That's not very fun to back into. But fortunately, our neighbor that I'm hauling for, pretty much everything that he has, he knows that it sucks. That's why he doesn't have a dump trailer of his own. And so he's usually pretty good about making sure where I dump is not that bad, which I really appreciate. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is that you're watching these videos. I appreciate you watching. If you've made it this far, if you could hit the subscribe button, it's free. Leave a like, comment on the video if you got any questions. And to those of you that have already subscribed, thank you. So let's get into today. I think I may have accidentally deleted some video from yesterday, so it may kind of seem like it just cut short and then just is on to today. But we got 2 loads yesterday. We finished up. I don't exactly know what I deleted, which sucks. But we did end up going back to the gravel pit and getting a second load. I don't know if I'm backed up to the first load or what, but anyway, today's a new day. All we were doing anyway was hauling lime. Hopefully I didn't screw anything up too badly, but I might have. So it is what it is. But today, lime hauling, like I said. So anyway, as you can see, the corn is tousled. The beans are big and bushy. We also have the problem that the fungicide and the insecticide does need to go down on the beans. So at some point this truck does need to shut down, and we need to do that. Hopefully we can just do it this weekend when the pits are closed and maybe get the majority of it done, if not all of it. If we got to shut the truck down one day or 2 days this week or next week, you know, it's not the end of the world, but I do have a lot of lime to haul. As far as corn, obviously you've seen it was all tousled. We've already got all our aerial spraying done. It's usually VT or R1 for corn. Basically when the tossling starts coming, the silks and stuff like that, that's really when you want to hit it. That's the highest disease stage. There are guys that do it in VT or before VT, and then they'll come back and hit it again with a second fungicide application. I don't know anybody personally that's done that, but I've heard a lot of guys doing double applications in obviously high disease situations, and it's paid off. But from my understanding, that's what people say. But just the one application on beans and corn for us seems to be doing a really good job. So now obviously I do not have my pilot's license, nor do we have a plane, so obviously we have to hire that stuff done for the aerial application on the corn. You know, there are a few guys I'm sure out there, a few crazy few farmers that have their own crop duster and do all their own fields, and props to them, but I would never do it. So I have a few friends that are pilots, and it's not for me. I don't even like flying commercial. It might be because of the people. I just hate being shoulder to shoulder with people, especially on a plane for a long period of time. But I just can't imagine being the one in the cockpit. And I don't know, maybe it would be a little better, because the worst part about flying is that you have no control over anything. You're just kind of sitting there staring at the wall or out the window, and somebody else has got your life in their hands. And it's like, I don't like that, because obviously driving is way more dangerous. And I drive every day, all the time, literally all the time. I'm driving out. And it's like, I have my own life in my own hands, and I have I know I'm not going to cause anything major, which is obviously a blanket statement and a terrible thing to say, because anything could happen. However, I just trust myself that much when I'm driving. Maybe if you were in the cockpit and you were in your own hands, it wouldn't be so bad. I don't know. I've never flown a plane, so. But to those of you that do crop dusting, props to you, because it looks awesome. It looks super fun. I just would never be able to do it. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Just need a little over 24 and a half. Or a little over 24.
Put it down, ready to go. Okay. Hop out, unhook the tailgate, and let her rip. Okay, we are all unloaded. Now we're going to go ahead and let the rear axles back up, air back up. Then we're going to pull forward and we're going to slap the gate a little bit and get everything off the back of the trailer. Like I said, we're going to let this air back up. Just like that. All that did is it just got all the excess crap off the back of the tailgate here so that it can actually close. Whether you have to do it, I don't know, but I like to. I mean, let's put it this way, you don't have to do it because I don't get it done every time. Sometimes the tailgate swings a little different, and when you hit the brakes it just doesn't really slap, doesn't want to slap, so. But there you have it. Load number 5 is done. Make sure the tailgate's closed. On to the next one, old son.